Tonight we lead with a story that drips with irony, my friends, and yet is so representative of the stubborn cancer of our VIP culture in this country. The Lokpal of India, that great moral compass that was created after a nationwide movement against corruption, has now floated a tender to buy not one, not two, but 7 luxury BMW cars, each worth upwards of 70 lakh rupees, for the transportation needs of the Lokpal chairperson and senior officials. Personally, I'm a little dumbstruck tonight because 14 years ago, I was among hundreds of reporters and citizens who had a ringside view of history as a gigantic uprising at Delhi's Ramlila Maidan under Anna Hazare, defined by a clarion call for the Lokpal, shook an entire government out of power and gave birth to the Lokpal, a first institution of its kind in independent India to inquire and investigate into allegations of corruption against public officials. More than a decade later, that same Lokpal now wants 7 luxury BMW cars for its top bosses. In other words, the institution that exists to hold the corrupt accountable now wants to be chauffeured around in German engineering excellence, cruising over India's potholes in silence, insulated from the noise of reality. And this isn't vague. The Lokpal's tender specifies the BMW model that it wants. Apparently, it couldn't find a single acceptable Indian-made luxury car that costs a fraction of what these BMWs would cost. Maybe the moral high ground has no Indian variant. What's remarkable isn't the brand itself, but the sheer audacity of it. A body like the Lokpal, meant to embody probity, transparency, restraint, propriety, is instead publicly shopping for gleaming imported German sedans. Forget about hypocrisy. How did they even think that they could get away with this? Can this all be explained away with, well, they are entitled to these work benefits, so what's wrong in floating a tender? Well, this is the Lokpal, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you. And for what? The Lokpal, which has done precious little to tackle corruption. When have you actually seen or heard about the work that they've done? It's now prioritizing shiny new wheels for its bosses. What message does that send to the ordinary citizen who believed this institution was born out of sacrifice and fasting and fury and setting an example for a new India that would get its priorities right? Let's be clear, no one denies senior constitutional functionaries a certain level of comfort, the perks of work, the perks of position, those should all be there. But BMWs, a 5 crore rupee vehicle bill for 7 top officials, for the anti-corruption ombudsman, what next? Lamborghinis for the CVC, Ferraris for vigilance officers? It's tragicomic. The Lokpal, born of a people's movement, they told us, that demanded purity and probity in public life, is now a caricature of that dream, obsessed not with ethics, but with flashiness. There has not been any clarification or rebuttal or denial to this story, mind you. It has betrayed the very purpose of its creation, and image is everything. So here is the verdict. The Lokpal doesn't just need new cars, it needs a new conscience. And I say this without any hesitation in my mind. Shame on the Lokpal of India.